Good evening, folks. It's your bro, Richie here. Today in this video, I'm back with another Fast and Furious movie explanation video for y'all. So I'm back with another Fast and Furious movie explanation video for y'all. Today in this video, I'm gonna be talking to y'all about the second installment of the franchise. Which, yep, you guessed it right. Too Fast, Too Furious. So I even got the disc on there just to show you. If I could get it out, hold on. Try not to break this. If I do, I'm screwed. Oh, there we go. So today I'll be talking to you about the second part of the movie. So I already did the first one. So I already did the first one. After I do the second one, we'll be down to the third installment of the franchise. So it's gonna be fun, but that'll be a long way until that happens, but it'll be fun. So today in this video, I'll be talking to you all about Too Fast, Too Furious 2003. So before I start, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. So like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you're alerted when I make brand new uploads. I gotta stop talking so fast, otherwise you won't be able to understand what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know what I was saying because I was speaking too fast. But you already know what I meant. So before I start, make sure you all like the video. So like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all. So notification bell and hit all so you're alerted of when I make brand new uploads. All right. So without any further ado, let's begin. So Too Fast, Too Furious 2003. Here we go. So Too Fast, Too Furious. So Too Fast, Too Furious is a 2003. So 2003 action film directed by John Singleton. So John Singleton from a screenplay by Michael Brandt. Can't pronounce it, but it's like saying the word brand. It's like saying the word brand, but adding the letter T at the end. And Derek has. It's like saying the word has. It's like it has something, but like it's like putting the letter A between the two letters A and S, and you put A in the middle between the two letters. Based on a story by Michael Brandt and Derek has. Can't really say it well, but you know what I mean. Based on a story. So based on a story by Michael, Derek, and Gary Scott Thompson. So Gary Scott Thompson. Gary Scott Thompson. It's a sequel to the first film. So it's a sequel to the first film. So a sequel to the first film. And the second installment in the franchise. The film stars Paul Walker as Brian O'Connor, alongside Tyrese Gibson as Roman Pierce. So Roman Pierce, Eva Mendes as Monica Fuentes, Cole Hauser as Carter Verone, Chris Ludacris Bridges as Taj Parker, and James Remar. James Remar. As Agent Markham. In the film, ex-LAPD cop, LAPD cop, so LAPD officer Brian O'Connor and his ex-con friend Roman Pierce go transport a shipment of drug money from shady Miami-based import-export dealer Carter Verone, while secretly working with undercover agent Monica Fuentes to bring Verone down, like to stop Verone. It was directed by John Singleton. Rest in peace. So for those who don't know, like what happened to John, he recently passed away on April 28th, 2019. So in 2019, the cause of it was he basically suffered a stroke. And was placed under intensive care. And he reportedly began to experience weakness in his legs after returning to the U.S. from a trip to Costa Rica. So returning home to the U.S. from a trip to Costa Rica, which is near South America, somewhere like also near Mexico too. So on April 25th, it was reported that he was in a coma, but his daughter stated otherwise. And on April 28th, 2019, 3 days later, or 72 hours later, he was removed from life support and he passed away at the age of 51 at the Cedars or Cedars, I can't really say it well, but it's spelled CEDARS dash Sinai SINAI Medical Center. It's a medical center. Dozens of actors and musicians paid tribute to him. And a private funeral was held on May 6th, 2019. It's like two weeks later, I think. I'm not really sure. So May 6th, 2019, in LA. So Los Angeles, and he was buried at the buried at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Hollywood Hills. The official cause of death was acute ischemic stroke, intracerebral hemorrhage, or ICH, which is like a sudden bleeding into the tissues of the brain, or into its ventricles, or even worse, both. And hypertension, also known as like high blood pressure. It's like when the blood pressure increases over. And it's also a major risk factor for these 8 parts of your body. So like stroke, coronary artery disease, heart failure, atrial fibrillation, peripheral arterial disease, vision loss, vision loss, like when you lose your vision, chronic kidney disease, and dementia. Say dementia. And he was even buried at the same exact cemetery, the Forest Lawn Cemetery, that Michael Jackson was buried in, and even Paul Walker. So it was directed by John Singleton. Screenplay by Michael Brandt. Michael Brandt and Derek Has. Directed by the movie was directed by John Singleton. John Singleton. So directed by John Singleton. John Singleton, rest in peace. Screenplay by Michael Brandt and Derek Has. Story was also by Michael and Derek and Gary Scott Thompson. It was based on characters by Gary Scott Thompson. Produced by Neil Moritz. Neil Moritz, and is starring Paul Walker, rest in peace. Paul Walker, Tyrese Gibson, Ava Mendes, Cole Hauser, Chris Ludacris Bridges, James Remar, Devon Aoki, and so many others. Cinematography? I felt like I was going to say cinnamon. What? Alright, so cinematography was by Matthew F. Leonetti. So F is the middle name for Frank. So his full name is Matthew Frank. So Matthew Frank Leonetti. It was edited by Bruce Cannon. So Bruce Cannon and Bruce Cannon. Edited by Bruce Cannon and Dallas Puett. Spelled P-U-E-T-T. Music was by David Arnold. So David Arnold was the production company was Universal. So production company was by Universal Pictures. It was also distributed by them. Release date was June 2003. The first one was released on the 3rd at the Universal Amphitheater, and the last one was on the 6th in the US. Running time was 108 minutes. So 108 minutes, which is around an hour and 40 minutes, roughly. Somewhere around there. Less than 2 hours. Not bad. So an hour and 48 minutes. Countries are Germany and the US. So Germany and US. Language, English. So language is English. The budget was $76 million. So budget $76 million. So $76 million, which they made a bit more than the first movie made, because I think the first movie made like, I don't know, like, let's say 20, 30, I think $40 million? I'm not really sure. And the second movie made like, I don't know, 30, 35 million more, I guess. Maybe? I'm not too sure, but yeah, like, the more they do the franchise, the more money they'll start to make. So the budget was $76 million. So $76 million. The box office was 236 200 200 so 236.4 million dollars, which is going an easier way. It's basically it's 236,400,000 dollars. So a second Fast and Furious film. So a second Fast and Furious film was planned after the. So a second Fast and Furious film was planned after the box office success of its predecessor. Predecessor. There we go. Predecessor. There we go. Can I say it right? The first movie in 2001. There we go. And it was confirmed with the returns of Paul Walker and the return and producer Neil Moritz, both Vin Diesel and Rob Cohen, the co-star Vin Diesel and director Rob Cohen of the first film were unable to return. So unable to return. Both Tyrese Gibson and John Singleton joined the cast in their absence in 2002. I said 2002. And in that year, like, they were having some new cars available to that time. They even had the new Eclipse Spider from 2003, I believe, or 2002. I'm not really sure. And they had even Evo 7. I think it was from 2002. I'm not really sure. So the Evo 7 and so many other cars. So Vin and Rob, the co-star and director of the first film, were unable to return. Gibson and Singleton. So Tyrese and John joined the cast in their absence in 2002. So to canonically, account for Diesel's departure, a short film that turbocharged pre turbocharged prelude turbocharged prelude turbocharged prelude for Too Fast, Too Furious 2003 was both produced and released. Principal principal photography for Too Fast, Too Furious commenced in September 2002 and lasted until that year, until December 2002. While filming locations including Miami and surrounding areas in southern Florida. Some of them might hint at Miami. Never know. It'd be interesting. So Miami and the surrounding areas in southern Florida. So Florida. Too fast, too fast, too furious. So too fast, too furious. Premiered. So Too Fast, Too Furious premiered at the Universal Amphitheater. So Universal Amphitheater in LA, so Los Angeles on June 3rd, so early June 2003, and was released in the US on June 6th. So 6th of June by Universal Pictures. The film received mostly negative reviews, unfortunately. So negative reviews from critics and grossed $236.4 million worldwide. A standalone sequel, Tokyo Drift, was released in 2006. Too Fast Too Furious is the only Too Fast Too Furious is the only main film in the franchise in which Vin Diesel doesn't appear, but he was mentioned in the film by Markham and Roman as well. So Too Fast Too Furious is the only main film in the franchise in which Vin Diesel doesn't appear, so he does not appear. Both Paul and Thom Barry were the only two cast members to have returned from the first film. Next up, we got his plot. Ex-LAPD officer or cop Brian O'Connor has escaped to Miami and is in hiding after aiding wanted felon Dominic Toretto in LA. So Dominic Toretto in LA escaped from authorities, making a living by street racing, driving his 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR R34, which I talked about a year ago, I think. I'm not really sure, but I think it was a year ago. Which was actually owned. That car was actually owned by technical advisor Craig Lieberman. So he was a technical advisor for the first two films. So in 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR R34, in events organized by his friend mechanic Tej Parker. Brian's arrested following a race, but his former boss, FBI Special Agent Bilkins, and Customs Enforcement Agent Markham offers a deal to clear his records in exchange for going undercover to help arrest drug lord Carter Verone. Brian agrees on the condition he choose his partner, deciding on his estranged childhood friend, Roman Pierce. Initially, Roman he doesn't trust Brian for being a cop and not preventing his own prior arrest, but nonetheless agrees to the same record clearing deal. Back in Miami, back in Miami, so Miami, Florida, customs agents, so customs agent, agent Monica Fuentes, who's undercover working for Verone, gets them an audience after a test in which Brian and Roman beat six other drivers, so six other drivers to retrieve a package from Verone's car in an impound lot, which is a Ferrari 360 Modena, I think. It was the one with a manual gearbox, which is pretty cool. So after a test in which Brian and Roman beat six other drivers to retrieve, so six other drivers to retrieve a package from Verone's car in an impound lot. they got a job to bring a package to Verone in the Florida Keys. During the test, Markham believes they're fleeing and nearly compromises their cover, so nearly blows their cover by meeting them at the lot. To prevent Markham from undermining the next job, Brian and Roman acquire a 1969, so 69 Yanko Camaro SYC, which is pretty cool, you know. I always like these old school, old these old school Yanko Camaros. Like they're pretty cool, you know. So Yanko Camaro is pretty cool. So 69 Yanko Camaro. So Yanko Camaro SYC in 1970. So 1970 Dodge Charger, not Charger, sorry, Dodge Challenger, there we go, RT in a pink slip race from two of the drivers who lost Verone's test, which is known as Fonzie and Fabio. So Verone's test at a nightclub, Verone tortures corrupt MPD. So Miami Police Department or Miami PD, Miami PD Detective Whitworth. So Detective Whitworth into giving the men a window, so a 15-minute window, so window of opportunity, which is a period of time during which some action can be taken that'll achieve a desired outcome. Once this period is over, or the window is closed, the specified outcome is no longer possible. Say no longer possible. Say at a nightclub, Verone tortures corrupt Miami PD Detective Whitworth into giving the men a 15-minute window to make their getaway. Verone then threatens Monica Fuentes, whom he saw speaking affectionately to Brian earlier at the club. Brian and Roman revisit Tej and his crew, and they arrange a diversion. So during their drive to the Keys. One morning, Brian wakes up to find Monica in his house. Well, basically, it was like a house, like a boat, like a houseboat, basically. It was like a house, but into like a boat form. She warns him that Verone intends to kill them once the drop is complete. Both Enrique and Roberto arrive looking for her, and a confrontation ensues before Verone arrives to defuse the situation, with Monica escaping beforehand. On the day of the job, Brian and Roman split the money between their cars and leave. Wentworth eventually sends in the Miami PD, and a chase ensues. The pair led the cops to a warehouse where a scramble, my favorite part, scramble, scramble organized by Tesh causes chaos. It's like hundreds of modified tuner cars that are muscle cars and whatnot. Well, many tuner cars, like tuner cars, sports cars actually. So a scramble organized by Tesh causes chaos. It's like chaos. Brian and Roman elude the cops. So elude the cops in the muscle cars while Tej and Suki, another street racer, are detained driving the GPS tagged vehicles to lead the cops away. As Brian approaches the airfield, Enrique orders him to detour to Marina, which is at Tarpon Point, not the airstrip. At the same time, Roberto, e- so not Roberto. At the same time, Roman ejects Roberto from his car with an improvised ejector seat, which is mainly a system designed to rescue the pilots or other crew of an aircraft in an emergency. Mainly used in planes. I think I was using Convair B-58 Hustler, which is American operational bomber capable of a Mach 2 flight. They're like those kind of planes where they have like a seat which just shots up like a propane tank and activates like a parachute basically. So at the same time, Roman ejects Roberto. So Roberto from his car with an improvised ejector seat. Using NOS at the airfield, customs surrounded the plane, but realized they've been duped. I can't really say it well, but it's spelled D U so DUPED. At the marina, Veron reveals he's aware he was under surveillance and gave Monica false information. So false info. Veron orders Brian killed and Monica onto his private yacht or like boat, intending to use her as leverage. Before Enrique can kill Brian, Roman arrives and the pair in- incapacitate him. It's like just take him down. Just poof, take him down. Veron flees. So Veron flees. So flees aboard the yacht, but is intercepted when Brian drives the Yanko Camaro off of a ramp. So off of a ramp and crashes into the deck. Brian, Roman, and Monica incapacitate and subdue Veron. Their deal upheld um, Markham. With their deal upheld, Markham clears both Brian. Markham clears both Brian's and Roman's record, so the record's clean. Thank God for that. And Roman hands over Veron's cash. So Veron's cash. Brian and Roman agree to stay in Miami, so Brian and Roman agree to stay in Miami, and they decide. So they agree to stay in Miami, and they decide to open a garage together, funded by a cut of the cash. So cut of the cash they secretly kept for themselves. Now some of those stunts didn't really go as a plan. Like for example, when the Yanko Camaro was jumped off the ramp, it landed into the water with the two with the dummies, like crash test dummies dressed up as Brian and Roman. There's a video about this from Craig Lieberman. So you search up for example, like Craig Lieberman, Too Fast or Furious stunts. They would have one of the videos there, and it shows like how like some of the stunts did not go well, and like the SUV that was used to like crash into the cops just didn't go so well. I think it like go off a ramp and just crashed like beneath. I'm not 100% sure, but it was something about this. So with their deal upheld, Markham clears Brian and Roman's record, and Roman hands over Veron's cash. Brian and Roman agree to stay in Miami so they could keep themselves out of trouble, and they decide to open a garage together, funded by a cut of the cash they secretly kept for themselves. Next up we got is cast. This is obviously you guys know this. So for cast we got Paul Walker. So Paul Walker, rest in peace, as Brian O'Connor, a former LAPD cop. So a cop who became a fugitive after letting Dominic Toretto escape in the previous film, and has now settled in Miami. He drives a 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR R34, which was owned by Craig Lieberman, and in 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7. Now out of those two, I would pick the Skyline. I'll admit the Evo had way more screen time than the R34, because the R34 had like, I don't know, like less than 10 minutes of screen time, I think, or 15. I'm not really sure, but I'd still pick the Skyline because it's much more iconic than an Evo. I mean, Evos are good, but I pick the Skyline much better. So he drives a 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR 34, and the 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7, which I talked about a car a couple months ago, I think. I'm not really sure. I think less than like 5-6 months. Not really sure. So 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7, which was supposed to be used to attend a rally team, those cars were supposed to be used to attend a rally racing team in Austria, but were shipped to the U.S., which wouldn't really go into the U.S. until February, but they got a few of them early, which was pretty good, and they used those for the movie. So they used a 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7. So Evo 7. Then we got Tyrese Gibson as Roman Pierce. So Roman Pierce, Brian's childhood friend, who's on house arrest after serving time in prison, for which he still blames Brian, but somewhere near between the middle of both the middle and ending, he revealed that it wasn't Brian's fault because it was all Roman's fault. He drives a 2003 Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider GTS, which was pretty cool, even though it made like a Subaru noise, but it didn't really have any engine mods whatsoever. It's like no turbos, absolutely nothing. It was bone stock. So he drives a 2003 Eclipse Spider GTS Mitsubishi. Then we got Eva Mendes as Monica Fuentes. So Monica Fuentes, a U.S. customs agent working undercover as Carter Verone's. Carter Verone's aide and Brian's love interest. Then we got Cole Hauser as Carter Verone, so Cole Hauser as Carter Verone, a ruthless drug lord whose organization, the Customs Service, sent Monica and later Brian and Roman to infiltrate. Then we got Chris Ludacris Bridges as Tej Parker, a race host and a friend of Brian. He arranges high stakes street racing events. Then we got James Remar. James Remar as Agent Markham, a U.S. customs agent in charge of the operation against Verone, who was Monica's superior. So superior. And then we got Devon Aoki as Suki. So Devon Aoki as Suki, a friend of Brian, Tej, and Jimmy. So Jimmy, she's the only named female racer in the movie, and her crew is made up entirely of women. She normally drives a hot pink custom Honda S2000, and later switched to an Eclipse that Roman drove. Then we got Thornberry. She normally drives a hot pink custom Honda S2000. Thornberry is Agent Bilkins. So next we got Thornberry as Agent Bilkins, an FBI agent reprising his role from the first film. He acts as Brian's handler for his undercover operations. So undercover operations. And next up we got is Edward Finley as Agent Dunn, a U.S. Customs agent who's Markham's number 2 in the operation. So like a backup. Then we got Mark Boone Jr. So Mark Boone Jr. Boone is spelled B. It's like saying the word boo, but adding the letters N and E. And you get B, so BOONE Jr. as Detective Whitworth, a Miami detective who's forced by Verone to give Roman and Brian, or Pearson O'Connor, a window to deliver his package. Then we got Mo Galini. So Galini as Galini. So Mo Galini. So Mo Galini as Enrique, Verone's bald henchman. It is what it is. So Verone's bald henchman. I'll say henchman number 1. Then we got Roberto Sanchez as Roberto himself. Verone's henchman and Enrique's partner. Then we got MC Jin. So MC Jin, which his last name is spelled Jin. Well, that's his first name, so his actual name is Jin O Young. I can't really say it well. So his full name is spelled Jin. we got A.U dash YEUNG, who's an American rapper, songwriter, actor. So American rapper, songwriter, actor, and comedian of Chinese descent. He's notable for being the first Asian American solo rapper to be signed to a major record label in the US. It's in the US. So it's from Miami, Florida. So we got MC Jin. So MC Jin as Jimmy, a mechanic who works for Tej and is a close friend of Brian. Then we got Amaury Nolasco. He was featured in Transformers, the first movie from 2007, as Orange Julius. Sounds like a drink almost. A street racer who drives an orange early 90s, like 1993, I think, Mazda RX-7 or 97. I can't remember. So Mazda RX-7. Then we got Michael Ealy as Slapjack, who's a street racer. a street racer who drives a gold Toyota Supra, which is pretty damn cool. Well, so yeah, Amaury Nolasco as Orange Julius. Again, sounds like a drink. A street racer who drives an orange RX-7. Oh, kind of like orange and like orange red-ish, with like a hint of yellow. I think I'm not really sure. It's a Mazda RX-7. Then we got Michael Ealy as Slapjack, a street racer who drives a gold Toyota Supra, which I talked about, say, a couple months ago. I'm not really sure. Then we got John Senatiempo as Corpy, a street racer who drives a 1969, so 69 Chevy Camaro Yenko SC. Then we got Eric Etabadi as Darden from Hollywood, California. Which very soon I might be going there one day. You never know. Say Hollywood, California. So Eric Etabadi as Darden. So Darden, Corpy's friend who drives a 1970 Challenger. Then we got Neil Moritz. Say Neil Moritz. Okay, Neil Moritz. Neil Moritz as a cop. So as a cop, the film's producer. So Neil makes a cameo appearance as a cop. So the cop during a chase scene. And next up we got is production. So yeah, production. There's not much on it, but we'll do it. First, so production. So first for it is the first part is development. I got this quote. because of the incredible response to the first movie, The Fast and the Furious, we knew we had struck a chord with young audiences. I believe we had taped, well not taped, we had tapped into a culture, the very urban world of street racing, the urban world of street racing. It really resonated with our fans who continued to support the film when it hit the streets on DVD and video. I mean, it really just exploded again, allowing even more people a chance to take the ride. We knew they're ready for another film, but only if we delivered one with the same authenticity and edge as the first. Well, we've done just that, and that was by producer Neil Moritz on greenlighting the project sequel. Plan, plans to make plans to make a sequel came about after the box office success of the first film, which grossed over a whopping $200 million worldwide. Pretty good. John Singleton had seen the first film and was awed by it, saying, "When I saw The Fast and the Furious, I was like, damn, why didn't I think of that?" Growing up in South Central LA, or just South LA, or simply South Central, so up in South Central LA, so South Central LA, we had, so growing up in South Central LA, we had street races all the time. John's rave reaction of the John's rave reaction of the film, as well as the culture of street racing in general, influenced his decision to direct the sequel. So, direct the sequel. He also claimed that a con- claimed that the concept of street racing street so street racing could be something young audiences can relate to, because this movie was like made for like young people, so made for like fans, like people who are into the movie. Because growing up, we moved on from those, and older people think it's just not really interesting, but young enthusiasts appear to think of it as a lot of fun, which is pretty cool. The screenplay was written by Michael Brandt and Derek Haas, along with Gary Scott Thompson. So Gary Scott Thompson, the co-writer for the first film. There are two film treatments submitted early on. So early on, one of which didn't involve so didn't didn't involve so did not involve so didn't involve Vin Diesel's character in the events. The actor wouldn't return for the sequel. John credited John credited Top Gun, so Top Gun 1986, so 1986, so 1986, which starred Tom Cruise into it, as a major influence. It's a major influence for the film, particularly with regard to the action sequences. Next up, pre-production. So pre-production. So pre-production. Vin Vin Diesel Vin Diesel was offered. So Vin Diesel was offered. Vin Diesel was offered $25 million. So $25 million. 25 million. So $25 million to return in the sequel as Dominic Toretto. However, he refused after reading the screenplay as he felt that its potential was inferior compared to that of its predecessor. Rather than that, he chose to appear in the Chronicles of Riddick 2004 instead. According to Variety magazine in 2015, he was less taken with what the screenwriters had in mind for the film. They didn't take a Francis Ford Coppola approach to it. They approached it like they did sequels in the 1980s and 1990s, or 80s and 90s, when they would drum up a new story unrelated for the most part, and slap the same name on it. However, Vin reflected on his decision in a July 14 report. So a report from Uproxx, which was a popular culture news website founded in 2008 by Jarrett Meyer and Brian Bratter, and acquired by Woven Digital, later renamed Uproxx Media Group in 2014 or 2014. So, however, Vin reflected on his decision in a July 2014 report from Uproxx, saying, "I would have said, don't walk away from it just because the script sucked in. So the script sucked in Too Fast and Furious, because there's an obligation to the audience to fight no matter what, to make that film as good as possible. I might have had a little bit more practice or believe in the long term of it." Paul Walker, who had just finished Timeline 2003, at that time, reprised his role in the second picture as Brian O'Connor. Tyrese Gibson, then known mononymously as Tyrese, also became a part of the cast, having previously acted in Singleton's Baby Boy, so Baby Boy 2001, which also featured Snoop Dogg into it, which was the singer's feature film acting debut. He portrayed Roman Pierce. Ja Rule, another prominent rap artist who appeared in the first movie, was originally tapped for the role of Tej Parker. He was offered $500,000, so $500,000 for the role, which was more than what he had been paid to appear in the first movie, $15,000. That's like $485,000 more than the first film. I mean, come on, like turning down $500,000. What? $500,000. He could have taken that money, but he turned it down. What? So he was offered $500,000 for the role, which is more than what he had been paid. So which was more than what he had been paid to appear in the first movie, $15,000. So $15,000. That's what Jesse meant in it. Jesse, played by Chad Lindbergh, meant in the first movie. When they were building the Supra, he said, "You know what? This will decimate all after you put about 15 grand in it or more if you have to overnight parts from Japan. Really, 15 grand. It's not bad. It's pretty good money. According to according to John Singleton, Ja Rule got too big for himself. He turned it down. He turned down $500,000. He's acting like he's too big to be in the sequel. He wouldn't return calls. Ja Rule later stated in an interview in 2021, 3 years ago, that he's already obligated to go on tour at the time and had to make the decision to take the $500,000 for the second film or 13 to 14 so $13 to $14 million on tour. The director then hired Chris Ludacris Bridges as a substitute. So Ludacris would later rise to prominence for appearing in the film and star in later films such as the movie Crash 2004 and Hustle and Flow 2005. The year I was born. And it was also produced by John Singleton as well. Pretty cool. So Chris would later rise to prominence for appearing in the film and starring later films such as Crash 2004 and Hustle and Flow 2000 Hustle and Flow so Hustle and Flow 2000 Hustle and Flow 2000 2005. Additional cast also includes Cole Hauser as key villain, Carter Verone, who appeared in Singleton's Higher Learning, 1995, Eva Mendes as undercover agent Monica Fuentes, and Devon Aoki as Suki. Suki, the sole female driver in the film. Next up we got is filming. Principal photography began in the fall in autumn 2002, and Matthew Leonetti served as the director of photography. Filming was done mostly in various parts of South Florida, such as Miami Beach, in Miami-Dade County, Florida. The 7 Mile Bridge in the Florida Keys in Monroe County, Florida. And Homestead Air Reserve Base. Cole Hauser's character's mansion was shot in Coral Gables, which is a city in Miami-Dade County, Florida. Which is a house owned by Sylvester Stallone, who he appeared in the franchise of the movie Rocky. Rocky. He appeared in 6 Rocky films. So first one. Oh, wait. I appeared in 5. Sorry. Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, and Rocky Balboa. So Rocky 2, 1979. Rocky 3, 1982. Say 1982. Rocky, say Rocky 2, 1979. Rocky 3, Rocky, so Rocky 3, Rocky 3, 1982. Rocky 4, 1985. So 1985. Rocky 5, 1990, and Rocky Balboa 2000, 2006. There we go. So he achieved his so yeah. Cole Hauser's character's mansion was shot in Coral Gables in a house owned by Sylvester Stallone at Bill at Billbags Cape Florida State Park. Somewhere near Key Biscayne. So Key Biscayne Island in Miami-Dade County, Florida. So at Billbags Cape Florida State Park, Too Fast and Furious was filmed on one side, while Bad Boys 2, 2003, was filmed on the other side at the same time. It's crazy. A car enthusiast himself, Paul drove a Skyline GTR model R34, borrowed from the film's technical advisor Craig Lieberman. In the film's opening opening scenes, Devon Aoki didn't have a driver's license or any driving experience prior to the film's production, and took driving lessons during filming. She drove a pink pink 2001, so pink 2000 2001 2001 so 2001 Honda S2000 S2000 AP1. In the film, Tyrese drove a convertible Eclipse Spider, while Michael Ealy drove a Toyota Supra Turbo Mark IV A80, so model JZ80 or JZ80, that had been used by Paul Walker. So Paul Walker in the first movie, The Fast and Furious 2001. Last one is music. So music, and then we'll move on to the next part. So music. The musical score was composed by David Arnold. So David Arnold. For the first movie was Brian Transo. Then we got for the second movie David Arnold, and then for the third movie was Brian Tyler, who also did the soundtracks for the fourth movie, I believe. Say fourth movie. I think the fifth one. I think the fifth one is all. Sixth one, I'm not too sure, but I know he did it for the seventh installment. I know that. So music, maybe did it for the ninth one as well. So the musical score was composed by David Arnold. The soundtrack was released on May 27th, 2003. So late May 2003 by Def Jam Recordings, the same records label that Ludacris was signed to. Next up we got is release. Too Fast, Too Furious premiered at the Universal Universal Amphitheater on June 3rd, so early June 2006. The short film, the turbocharged prelude, so turbocharged prelude, say prelude for Too Fast, so the turbocharged prelude for Too Fast Too Furious was released before select screenings and on special edition home releases of the first film. It's then released to theaters in the US on July 6th, 2003. So early June 2003. Next up, home media. Too Fast Too Furious was released on both DVD and VHS on September 30th, so late September 2003. It's later released on Blu-ray on March 24th, so late March 2009, and 4K Ultra HD on October 2nd, so early October 2018. Most likely I've got for a DVD here the 3 movie set. So if you guys want to get one of these, they would have it on Amazon, possibly eBay. I'm not really sure. The main one that probably I think they would have is Amazon. Not too sure. So it was later released on Blu-ray on March 24th, 2009, and 4K Ultra HD on October 2nd, 2018 or 2018. Last part is a video game, and then we'll move on to the next part. So video game. A mobile game was released in 2004 by Digital Bridges. So next up, reception. Starting off with his box office. Too Fast Too Furious earned $52.1 million. So it's $52,100,000 in its U.S. opening in 3,408 theaters. It's crazy, just crazy. Ranking first for the weekend above Finding Nemo 2003. The film went on to score the 4th highest June opening weekend behind Batman Forever. So Batman Forever. So Batman Forever 1995 and Scooby-Doo. So Scooby-Doo, A.K.A. Scooby-Doo the movie 2002. This is also one of 3 consecutive Universal films of 2003 to make an opening weekend above $50 million. So $50 million, with the others being Bruce Almighty. So Bruce Almighty 2003 and Hulk, A.K.A. The Hulk. So The Hulk 2003. So 2003, there we go. Furthermore, the film surpassed the movie Shaft 2000 to have the highest opening weekend for a John Singleton film, and Triple X 2002. So Triple X 2002 have the biggest opening weekend for a Neil Moritz film, respectively. During its second weekend, it fell behind Finding Nemo. So Finding Nemo making $19.1 million, which is $19,100,000. So $19,100,000 throughout its 130 days, like over 5 months in release, somewhere in there. Less than half a year, so less than 6 months. The film reached a peak release. So peak release of 3,418 theaters. So theaters in the U.S. and earned $127.2 million in domestically, or $127,200,000 in domestically. The film had the 15th biggest U.S. gross of 2003 and the 16th biggest worldwide gross of 2003, combined with the international gross of $109.2 million, which is like $109,200,000. The film earned a massive $236.4 million. So that's $236,400,000 worldwide. Pretty good. Alright, next up we got is critical response. On Rotten Tomatoes, Too Fast, Too Furious has an approved rating of 36%. What? 36%? That's nothing, man. Based on 162 reviews and an average rating of 48%, the site's critical consensus reads beautiful people and beautiful cars in a movie that won't tax the brain cells, whatever that means. On Metacritic, it has a weighted average score of 38. So 38%. 38%. 10% less than Rotten Tomatoes have, based on reviews from 36 critics, indicating generally unfavorable reviews. Audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A- on scale of A+ to F. A- is not really that bad. I mean, it's still a good score. I mean, A is pretty good. Todd McCarthy of Variety magazine, there we go, wrote, while this John Singleton directed sequel provides a breezy enough joyride, it lacks the unassuming freshness and appealing neighborhood feel of the economy-priced original. Scott Tobias of the AV Club wrote, Singleton abandons Singleton abandons the underground racing subculture that gave the first film its allure, relying instead of lazy, lazy thriller plotting that's only a bag of donuts and a freeze frame away from the average TV TV cop TV cop TV cop TV cop show. So TV cop show. So TV cop show. US Today's Mark US Today's Mike Clark gave the film 2 out of 4, 50%. It's kind of an okay-ish score, and wrote, "The movie is all about racing and characters be damned, though the still dazed-looking Paul Walker and Tyrese Gibson finally get a little rapport, going after a worn-out story's very rocky start. He concludes, lack of pretension helps the viewer get over the fact that this is just another retread, or retreat, whatever you call it. Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 75%. 3 out of 4. It's pretty good. 75% is not bad. And said it doesn't have a brain in its head, but it's made with both skill and style. And boy, it is Fast and Furious. It is Fast and Furious. In 2018, Derek Lawrence of the Entertainment Weekly called it the forgotten Fast and Furious gem. So the forgotten Fast and Furious gem, and praised the chemistry between Walker, so between Paul Walker and Tyrese Gibson, and so so the chemistry between Walker and Gibson, and John Singleton's direction in 2019, so 2019, a year before COVID even started, before it started in early 2020. Bilge, say it well, but it spells Bilge, Eberi. It spells Eberi of, so Eberi of Vulture also praised the movie, especially Singleton's direction. Direction. In 2014, a year after Paul Walker passed away, so after he died in 2013, so in 2014, John Singleton said it was awesome. So it's awesome. The heads of the studio at the time were just like, just make it fun, make it cool, make it this generation. I didn't do all that techno music that they did in the first movie. I used nothing but southern hip hop, which was like the rage at the time. I just funked it up. I made it more multi-ethnic. They kind of followed the paradigm that I set up. What we're going to do here is Paul Walker's character. So Paul's character, God bless his soul. Paul Walker's going to be edgy. He's going to be more like a bad boy. That was the film where he was the star. That was the movie where he was the star of the picture because we didn't have Vin Diesel. It was a real fun experience. Last part is accolades, and now we're moving on to the final part, and then we'll end it there. So accolades. So we got a couple awards. We got like 3, and then we got category, nominee, and then the results. So first one is first award was MTV Movie Award. It's a movie award. It's a movie award. Hold on. So the first one is MTV Movie Award. It's a movie award. It's an MTV Movie Award. Then we got category Breakthrough Male. Nominee Ludacris, and result was nominated. Then we got Golden Raspberry for worst remake or sequel, and worst excuse for an actual movie, all concept / no content. For Too Fast Too Furious was also nominated. So nominated. And the last one we got is Teen Choice Awards. So we got choice, breakout movie actor Michael Ealy, who was nominated. So nominated. Then we got choice movie chemistry. Choice movie chemistry. Paul Walker, who won. And we got choice movie fight / action sequence. Paul Walker versus Tyrese Gibson, which also won. And then we got, so still Teen Choice Awards, and then we got Choice Summer Movie. So Choice Summer Movie, which was Too Fast Too Furious. Too Fast Too Furious 2003, which was Too Fast Too Furious 2003, which was nominated. And the last part we got is sequel. So sequel, and then that'll wrap it up. after failing to secure the returns of Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, or any other member of the original cast. It's original cast. Universal ordered a standalone sequel. Standalone sequel, Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift. Neil Moritz returned and hired director Justin Lin. Justin Lin, who would go on to direct several subsequent installments in the series, mainly the 4th one. Well, starting off with the third one from 2006. I believe also the 4th one from 2009, 5th 2006. Oh, not 2006. Sorry. 4th one 2009, 5th one 2011, and then the 6th one 2013, and then up until the 9th one 2021, and that was the last time he directed it before Louise Leterrier took over. So sequel after failing to secure the returns of Diesel, Walker, or any other member of the original cast. Universal ordered a standalone sequel, Tokyo Drift. Neil returned and hired director Justin Lin, who would go on to direct several subsequent installments in the series. All right, and that is it, guys. So if you guys like this video, like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you're alerted when I make brand new uploads. Alright, so that'll be it. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. But until then, stay safe, have a great evening, and have a great day tomorrow morning. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys soon. Good night.